Greece. They say, "Let there be no more war," and straightway, at the word, along the Mediterranean shore, the call to arms is heard. Greece could not let her glory fade, although peace be in sight. The race the Persian wars arrayed must fight one more good night. Greece, rise triumphant! Long ago it was you proved to men. A few may countless hosts o'erthrow. Now prove it once again. God's garden. God made a beauteous garden with lovely flowers strown, but one straight narrow pathway that was not overgrown. And to this beauteous garden he brought mankind to live, and said, "To you, my children, these lovely flowers I give. Prune ye my vines and fig trees, with care my flowerets tend, but keep the pathway open, your home is at the end." Then came another master who did not love mankind, and planted on the pathway gold flowers for them to find. And mankind saw the bright flowers that, glittering in the sun, quite hid the thorns of avarice that poison blood and bone. And far off many wandered, and when life's night came on, they were still seeking gold flowers, lost, helpless, and alone. Oh, cease to heed the glamour that blinds your foolish eyes. Look upward to the glitter of stars in God's clear skies. Their ways are pure and harmless, and will not lead astray, but aid your erring footsteps to keep the narrow way. And when the sun shines brightly, tend flowers that God has given, and keep the pathway open that leads you on to heaven. La noche triste, Tenalclatan. Changed is the scene, the peace and regal splendor which once that city knew are gone, and war now reigns upon that throng, but who a week ago were all intent on joy supreme. Cries of the wounded break the stillness of the night, or challenge of the guard. The Spaniard many days besieged within the place where kings did rule of old, now pressed by hunger and the all relentless foe, looks for some channel of escape. The night is dark, black clouds obscure the sky, a dead calm lies over all. The heart of one is firm, his mind is constant still, to all his word is law. Cortez his plan hath made, the time hath come. Each one his chosen place now takes. There waits the signal that will start the long retreat. Down the brook and back. I leave the meadow for the brook. Speed, speed, my icy carriers. Away, away, the black ice lies, And where I glide on either side, the woody midnights rise. Speed, speed, speed on, ye tarriers! The ice fields fall, a distant boom. On from gloom to deeper gloom. Speed, speed, let darkness follow. Alone, alone, the breezes moan. Give steel to steel, I wheel and reel on rippled ice and hollow. The ice once more is smooth. Before I swerve from brook to river, and as I dash, the muskrat's plash comes from the hazy, fleeing shore, where first the moonbeams quiver. The moon is up, and I am weary. Beyond the lane-like brook lies dreary. Hours fleet. I stumble on o'er crusted snow. With reeds the ice is bearded as I go. Afar I wend, and I am weary. The clouded moon is dim and bleary. The flight. Anon the cry comes down the line. The portals wide are swung. A dark line moves out the gate. And now the flight's begun. Aye, cautiously it moves at first, as ships steer o'er the reef, looking for dangers all unseen, but which may bring to grief. Straight for the causeway now they make. The bridge is borne before. 'Tis taken place across the flood, and all go trooping o'er. Yet ere the other side is reached, wafted along the wind, the rolling of the snake-skin drum comes floating from behind. And scarcely has its rolling ceased, than out upon the lake, where all was silence, just before the clunk the calm doth break. What terror to each heart it bears, that sound of ill portent! Each gunner to escape now looks, on safety all are bent. Forward they press in wild despair, on to the next canal, held on all sides by foe and sea, like deer within corral. Now surging this way, now in that, the mass sways to and fro. The infidel around it sweeps, slowly the night doth go. A war cry soundeth through the night. The Tsin Tsin is there. His plume nods wildly o'er the scene. All Spaniard, now beware! With gaping jaws the cannon stands, points it among the horde. The valiant Leon waits beside, ready with match and sword. The Tsin quick springeth to his side. His mace he hurls on high. It crashes through the Spanish steel, and Leon prone doth lie. Falling, he died beneath his gun. He died at duty's call, and many falling on that night, dying, so died they all. The faithful guarders at the bridge have worked with might and main, nor can they move it from its place, swollen by damp of rain. On through the darkness comes the cry that all is lost. Then e'en Cortez takes up the shout, and o'er the host 'tis tossed. Some place their safety in the stream, but sink beneath the tide. E'en others cross on the dead, thus reach the other side. Surrounded and alone he sits upon his faithful steed. Here Alvarado clears a space, but none might share the deed. For darkness of that murky night hides deeds of brightest fame, which in the ages yet to come would light the hero's name. His faithful charger now hath fallen, pierced to the very heart. Quick steps he back, his war cry shouts, then onward doth he dart. Runs he, and leaping high in air, fixed does he seem a space. One instant, and the deed is done, he standeth face to face with those who on the other side are their safety now have found, the thirst for vengeance satisfied. The Aztec wheels round. So as the sun climbs up the sky and shoots his dawning rays, the foe, as parted by his dart, each go their separate ways. Upon the ground the dead men he trampled midst gold and gore. The Aztec toward his temple goes, for now the fight is o'er. Follow we not the Spaniard more, wending o'er hill and plain? Suffice to say he reached the coast, lost fortune to regain. The flame shines brightest ere go out, thus with the Aztec throne, on that dark night before the end, so o'er the fight is shown. The Montezumas are no more, gone is their regal throne, and freemen live and rule and die where they have ruled alone. Song of the Wave. Rolling, rolling o'er the deep, sunken treasures 'neath me sleep, as I shoreward slowly sweep. Onward peacefully I roll, ever thoughtless of the goal. Sea bells round me chime and toll. There is peace above, below. Far beneath me seaweeds grow. Tiny fish glide to and fro. Now in sunlight, now in shade, lost within some ocean glade, by the restless waters made. Pushing onward as before, now descry the distant shore, hear the breakers' sullen roar. Quicken then my rolling pace, with glad heart I join the race o'er the white-capped glittering space, thinking naught of woe or grief, dancing, prancing like a leaf, caring not for cliff or reef. Low black hills above me loom, casting o'er me awful gloom, and foretell my coming doom. Oh, that I might reach the land, reach and lave the sunny sand, but these rocks on every hand seem my joyous course to stay, rise and bar my happy way, shutting out the sun's bright ray. I must now my pride crest lower, and the wild sea roam no more. Hark the crash and mighty roar, when the waves' sport life is o'er. A Dream of Julius Caesar. A dreamy day, a gentle western breeze that murmurs softly midst the sylvan shades. Above, the fleecy clouds glide slowly on to sink from view. Within the forest's depth, a thrush's drowsy note starts echoes through the vistas of the overhanging trees. All nature seems to weave a circle of enchantment round the mind, and give full sway to flitting thoughts and dreams of bygone years. Thus, at the summer afternoon wears on, in nature's cradle lulled to calm repose, I watch the shifting of a purling rill, as visions of a busy throng of life, of passing days that come not back again, rush in confusion through my weary brain, till rumblings wafted o'er the distant hills proclaim a timely warning to the one who, wandering far from shelter and from home, forgets that space exists, that still he lives, but, wrapped in nature's all-entrancing shroud, is lured to seek her wildest, inmost realms. The dying cadences are tossed from veil to veil, but fall unheeded on my ear. Anon the winds burst on the silent scene, and cause the leaves to dance and sing for joy. Then clouds with bosoms darker than the night rise up along the whole horizon's brink, and all the sky is flecked with hurrying forms. Thus, ever as the storm comes on, led by the heralds of its wrathful power, between the foremost drifts, like ladders long, by which from earth to heaven the woodland nymphs may pass beyond the clouds, bright rays of light stretch down upon each grove and mead. So, far and wide a charm of magic breathes its spell around, for at my feet a far upreaching ladder rests, and as I gaze, a form, scarce seen at first, glides down. A moment, and before me stands with stately mien and noble wreathed brow, his toga streaming to the western wind, the restless fire still gleaming in those eyes, just as before the Roman Senate, years agone. He stood and ruled a people with his mighty will, Caesar, first conqueror of the Roman world. Within his hand the bolt of Jove gleams forth with frequent flash, clasping the toga's waving folds, a gem of ray most pure, that nigh outshines the sun, rests like the dew of heaven. I gaze in awe a space. Then, with majestic mien, he points me toward a bridge, an ancient moss-grown trunk that fell in some fierce storm to join the brook's green banks, and speaks, "Begone! From Jupiter I come to rule with storm and darkness o'er the world." Then, with uplifted arms, look up, behold my might, my legions. Conquest still is the one passion of this fiery breast. Speak thy farewell to all this scene of quietude and peace, ere from this hand I launch the fire of Jove, and pierce the darkness with its gleam, ere yonder cohorts with resistless march spread terror in the air and vanquish light. He speaks and vanishes from sight. The roar of chariot wheels break on my ear. The fight is on, for blood in torrents fall around, not crimson, but a lighter hue, such as the fairy hosts of silvery light might shed. Caesar's lost transport ships. Some fell away to westward with the wind, and one full darkly figured on the sun at sunset. But the fight on Brighton's beach got us a shelter under Dover cliff, and all night long a voice made wild lament circling the confines of the restless camp, so that we had sad thoughts of those at sea. There would no messenger come back from them. Each one alone went leaping down the world with no sail set, deserted on the deck, and in the hull a tremor of low speech, and overhead the petrel wafted wide. Parting, too. I dreamed the setting sun would rise no more. My spirit fled, nor sought an aimless sun whirled madly on through pathless space, and free amid a world of worlds enthralled. Ah, no, but deep within a silent solitude it lingered on. Twilight waned. Across the hills and darkening sky the west wind stole, and broadcast spread and sun path gathered gold, undying memories of the hopeless dead. The dew of sadness fell, and far into the coming night of storm and calm I gazed. O sadness, who may tell what joy is thine? A whisper breathed, what lies unvoiced on earth is heaven sung, and gloom crept softly down with longing deep and everlasting night. The traitor. Sea-bird of the battle surf, Lorna is dead. Black on Cala's castled hill, ruin is spread. Weep for Lorna who rode forth with his king against the north. Lorna came again at morn, riding from war, messenger of battle won, tidings he bore. Quenchless was the charge he made, low the insurgent walls were laid, and while revelry was rife through Cala's halls, then the lonely warder saw pacing the walls, eastward in the morning's grays, serried spears in the sunrise blaze, by an altar in a vault, night dripping dew. Lorna's muffled cry arose, bat-like it flew. Sacrifice for victory, priest and victim find in me. Sea-bird of the battle surf, Lorna is dead. Black on Cala's castled hill, ruin is spread. Royal seal upon the tomb, where he sleeps in endless gloom. Class hymn. There is a nook among the alders, still sleeping to the catbird's hush. Below, a long stone bridge is bending above a runnel's silent rush. A dreamer hither often wanders, and gathers many a snow-white stone. He weighs them, poised upon his fingers, divining each one's silvery tone. He drops them when the stream makes music, fair visions with its vault voice swell, and so for us the future rises as thought stones stir our hearts. Farewell. Twilight. Why am I first in thy so sad regard, O twilight, gazing from I know not where? I fear myself as one more than I guessed. Am I instead of one so very fair, that thou art sorrowful and I oppressed? I in the isolating air, o'er the inattentive moon, two birds sail on great wings, and vanish soon, and they leave the north sky bare. The far-felt solitudes that harbor night wake to the singing of the wood-bird's fright. By invocation, O wide silentness, the spirit and my spirit pass in air. They are unmemoried consciousness, nor great nor less, and thou art here, and I am everywhere. Summary. I would arise and in a dream go on, not very far, not very far, for then lie down amid the summer grass again, and fall asleep till night time or next dawn. In sleepy self-sufficiency I'd turn, I'd see new comfort and be hard to please, for in a meadow by an isle of trees, all summer long amid the grass and fern, forests would have to be all round about, and the mead silent, and the grasses deep, else I might not gain such a tireless sleep. I could not slumber if the wains were out. The Falls. 'Tis a steep wood of rocks, with the fern grown everywhere, but with no birds, not a wing, and the falls come down there. Even an Indian trail would swerve to a haunt so fair. One used to, there were the ferns, and the falls came down there. An unhistoric spot. Ah, passionate is rest when to the earth I yield in full length contact of sweet pain. Here, just within the bars in the chill grass and the great shadow of a fruitless tree, I at once sleep and am awake in joy. And when I sit half conscious on the slope, and lean upon one grass-wrought hand and gaze, the lone thrush gurgles nectar in his throat. On some green spire, adjusting his furled wings, the local cricket quavers to the wind, and every one that passes look at me. The birds do thus. I slept all day. The birds do thus, that sing a while at eve for us. To have you soon I gave away, well satisfied to give a day. Life's not so short, I care to keep the unhappy days I choose to sleep. Warning. The day will come when you will cease to know. The heart will cease to tell you, sadder yet, though you say o'er and o'er what once you knew, you will forget. You will forget. There is no memory for what is true. The heart once silent, well may you regret, cry out upon it, that you have known all but to forget. but to forget. Blame no one but yourself for this, lost soul. I feared it would be so that day we met long since, and you were changed. And I said then, he will forget. He will forget. West of the Orcas. I felt the chill of the meadow underfoot, but the sun o'erhead, and snatches of verse and song of scenes like this I sung or said. I skirted the margin alders for miles and miles in a sweeping line. The day was the day by every flower that blooms, but I saw no sign. Yet further I went before the sides should come, for the grass was high, till I saw the path where the slender fox had come and gone panting by. Then at last, in following that, I found, in the very hour when the color flushed to the petals, it must have been the far-sought flower. There stood the purple spires, with no breath of air or headlong bee to disturb their perfect poise the livelong day 'neath the alder tree. I only knelt, and putting the boughs aside, looked, or at most counted them all to the buds in the copse's depth, pale as a ghost. Then I arose, and silent wandered home, and I for one said that the fall might come and whirl of leaves, for summer was done.